Live the life you want to live. Blindness is not what holds you back. The National Federation of the Blind.
I'm Julie.
I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Stephanie, and this is Blind JEMS. Hello and welcome. We are fortunate enough today to have another member of the International Blind Cafe joining us in a chat. We have Allison. Allison, welcome.
Thank you for having me with you today. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, great. So excited to chat with you. I know that you are a mom, and I know being a mom is a hard enough job, but being a mom with sight loss has to be quite challenging. Just thought maybe in the beginning you could tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about, how you deal with sight loss and being a mom.
Sure. I am a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt, and I'm a friend. I'm from Connecticut, and I was born with having low vision. So my journey has been just dealing with all of this for all my life. And then once I had my kids, it's something that I really did not want for my kids to also have low vision. But as genetics would have it, they also, both my son and my daughter, I have two kids, both my son and my daughter are on the blindness spectrum, if you will. So my journey has also been to educate and advocate for myself in addition to my children and trying to raise them with good values and morals and really bringing them up in a world that is sighted, even though they have
right. They are
low
not.
vision.
There's challenges. Right. There's challenges. Exactly. That's what I was going to ask you. I know, yes, I have glaucoma, so I know that's hereditary genetic, but I'm the only one in my family that unfortunately got that. And I have stepsons, so I don't have my own children. But that was always a concern, but when people be like, oh, would you have children to pass that on? Was that a fear even before thinking about having kids? Or you were just like, I can do this and whatever comes our way, we're just going to deal?
I've always wanted kids. When I was in high school, my oldest nephew was born when I was 16, and I helped babysit and I helped raise him, and he used to hang out at our house when I lived with my parents, and it was a lot of fun. And I love kids and working with kids, and I always wanted kids. I always loved babysitting. I have 6 nephews and 4 nieces.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm the youngest of 4 girls. So I have 3 older sisters.
Nice.
I did not know that I had a genetic eye disease before I had children. However,
Wow.
I don't think it would have changed my decision to have them because there's so many variables. I mean, so many things can happen. And when we look at, because in this day and age, Alison, I don't know if you agree, but there's so much intersectionality with disabilities that the majority of people that we know aren't just blind. In fact, sight loss is the least of their problems, right? So,
Right.
um, but the word I have to say, you are, Alison, you're a woman that I really admire. I admire everything you do with advocacy, and I love the way that I listen to what you're doing in your stories, and it encourages me to keep on going. So, can you tell us a little bit about your decision and your journey with advocacy through the NFB?
I joined the NFB back in 2020. I started watching the live stream of their when they had their during COVID, when they had their convention, and it was virtual because everyone was on lockdown. No one was going anywhere and everything was virtual. And I watched it, and I just I needed some way to be part of something bigger and stay
Mhm.
connected to people who are blind or have low vision.
Yeah.
And I signed up. It was free to watch the live stream, and they were doing virtual tours of the B&O Railway in Baltimore, which is where the National Federation of the Blind headquarters is in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
I did not know
And
that. Okay.
I sat in on some of the breakout workshops that they had. They had
Yeah.
they had a whole bunch of different companies come in. They had Target, they had American Print House for the Blind. They had a whole bunch of different people coming in to speak. And I went to all these different workshops and thought, wow, this is an organization that I really want to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like people understood where I was coming from and my struggles and my, as I was following the group on Facebook and following along with things, I just felt more and more connected. And when they had their state caucus, which is like when the states get together individually during the
Mm-hmm.
national conference, I went to their meeting and I said, I want to get connected. I live in Connecticut. I want to join the Connecticut chapter, the Connecticut affiliate. And they sent out information. And it took me a while. I was kind of hesitant. And all these people, they were traveling different places and doing different things. And I thought, I can't travel. I can't do this stuff by myself. There's no way that I'm going to be. I have low vision. I can't navigate an airport by myself. I can't
Yeah.
navigate a train station on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say that for the last 2 years, I have gone down to Washington, D.C. to advocate at our state capitol and meet with senators and representatives. I've gone 2 years in a row now. And this past summer in July, I went down to Orlando, Florida. I flew and went down to our national convention for the very first time.
On your
And
own, right?
I met the president of our state
Well,
affiliate and we flew
yeah,
down together, but we sat in different spots on the plane.
yeah,
And when the plane landed and we got our bags and everything, she got in her cab and went to her hotel, and I got in mine and went to my hotel.
yeah,
And we didn't meet up again until the conference started,
yeah.
which was the next day.
I was
So
so
I was
proud of that, Alison, of
Yeah.
you. So proud of you that you did that. It was phenomenal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on, continue.
I thank you very much for saying that, because so many people have said you're not going to be able to do that. Why would you even try to do that by yourself? You're going to get lost. And I said, well, I'm going to try it. I need to do this. I
Mm-hmm.
need to try this and see how far I can get. And if I need help, the airports are full of people. They're full of staff that are willing to help. The train station, there's a red cap service for Amtrak. They were really helpful. They came, checked up. How you doing? Do you need anything? Um, Everybody was very, very helpful. And I didn't find anyone that was like, oh, who are you? Who do you think
Yeah,
you are? Everyone was very helpful. And I just felt really good and really proud of myself that I could do it.
You should be proud of. That's awesome.
you should.
Yeah. It's just
Allison,
small things.
Yes.
I have a question for you. You said that you kind of just stumbled upon the NFB, but did you ever, what made you choose the NFB over the American Council for the Blind, the ACB? Because I know there's two different groups in America compared to Canada, which just has CNIB, really.
Canada actually the NFB has a sister organization to the National Federation of the Blind. They have the Canadian Federation of the Blind. So they do have the CFB.
Which I was totally unaware of, Morgan,
Oh,
until
yeah.
Alison told me this a little while ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I honestly thought that here in Canada, it was the CNIB and that was it. They had the monopoly,
Yeah.
there was nothing else.
I
Yeah.
just
I had no
recently
idea.
heard about it too. Yeah.
Shocking. Yeah.
The ACB, the American Council of the Blind, and the National Federation of the Blind are very similar. I don't know anyone that's part of the American Council for the Blind, and I haven't heard anything about chapters or ways to join their organization or find out any information about them. The information that I've always seen has been the National Federation of the Blind. So I kind of sort of
I
headed
will say they
in that
do
direction.
seem to have the loudest voice, the NFB, as opposed to the ACB, or the AFB, sorry. But that's a really good question. And it poses the question, if we just all got together and worked as one, instead of trying to take a little piece of the pie, if we all worked together for the whole pie, would that not be more advantageous for all of us?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a quick dictionary search, I have to admit, before we started on what advocacy meant. And the down and dirty is public support for a particular cause.
Yeah.
And
Makes
that
sense.
So if we
totally
all
makes
just
sense.
got together as the sight loss community,
Mhm.
wouldn't that be better than trying to fight for one little slice of the pie?
Yeah, but that's
I'll-
not humankind,
no, it's not.
unfortunately.
It's not. But that's why women don't rule the world, girls. But that's
That's
a whole
why.
other episode. That's a whole other episode.
But like
Alison,
Julie, you've always said, and this is true, blind disability is like low on the totem pole of disabilities that you hear about. There's no
yes.
commercials, right? Well, it's ramp and you don't really hear about us. We're kind of like in the background of it seems. And like you're
We're
saying,
an invisible minority, right, Steph?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, you say that. And that is so true.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people besides yourself? I mean, before finding all of you wonderful people, I was the only person in my world, no matter where I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I still feel like that in my physical community. I still
day-to-day life.
feel like that.
Yeah.
Alison, I'm wondering what has been a part of the NFB and your advocacy and volunteer work, what has that done for you?
It's done a lot for me, actually. It's given me confidence, self-confidence to be able to say I can travel by myself. I can
Mhm.
get in an Uber from the train station and go from the train station to my hotel in
Mhm.
Washington, D.C., in a city that I'm not really familiar with. I can order, I can take the train from where I live down to DC and not be overly concerned, or worried that I'll mess it up. I won't get on the right train. I won't, I've it's given me so much self-confidence,
Yes.
and it's also helping me send that message to my kids that
Yes.
whatever
Yeah.
you put your mind to, you
Hmm.
can accomplish. If you want to
Yes.
do this, you just need to get out there. If you have a question, ask for help. If
Yeah.
you want to do it, find a way to
Yes.
make that happen, because just sitting idle and saying, "Oh geez, I wish I could take a train and get to,"
I should have done this if I'd done
Hmm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and
That's
it's
well. Yeah,
really
wonderful, Alison. Yeah.
you're their role model. You are showing them.
Yes.
You're not telling them. You're showing them by what you're
Hmm.
doing, and that you're achieving it, and that they know. Hey, mom can do it, then I could do it too. You know.
it's been really good, because learning Braille,
Oh
I
my
am
gosh.
now
Yeah.
able to go to our hotel. I can get in the elevator, I can go up to my floor, I
Oh.
can find my hotel room using Braille numbers and read my room number outside of, they have the placard on the wall
Hmm.
outside of the hotel room. I can find my room
That's
reading in
amazing.
Braille. And
If we can just touch on that a little bit more, Alison, is I know you, Morgan, and I have been learning Braille through Hadley. Um,
yes,
However, we've been doing it through the um, International Blind Cafe, the study groups. And I personally have, because this is the third time I tried Braille for everyday use. I'm not saying I'm going to sit down and read a novel, but I want to be able to be independent in the world, right?
right.
And learning it in with you and with Morgan and everybody else that's been on this journey has been something else. Have you ever tried to learn Braille before this?
I tried to learn Braille when my daughter was in elementary school through Hadley in their old program, when it
Oh,
was random letters scattered throughout the alphabet, and it was learning pretty much independent study on your
yeah,
own. And I got a quarter of the way through the alphabet and I thought, I can't do this. This is just way
too
too
much.
hard.
Yeah.
And I stopped, and I never picked it back up again until November of last year, when I went to my state convention. The person that I roomed with um, was using her braille to navigate through the hotel, and through the using it on the elevator panel to feel which floors were which.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to do this. I know I had heard about the cafe starting up the program. And I said, you know what? I'm going to sit in on one of the classes. And I did. And I said, well, there's no harm in trying it. Let me try it and see if I like it, see if I could do it, see if it's going to work, if it's going to stick. And I ordered the books. And the first book wasn't bad. That was A through C. The second book was D, E, F, and G. It was 4 letters together, and that was really hard for me doing that second book. And I thought, holy cow, I'm never going to get through this. But we were laughing and joking and talking, and it was fun. It was fun to learn it, and it was, no big deal if you made a mistake, because we were all laughing. We were all learning from each other, and it was like, don't be ashamed, don't be embarrassed. You've got this. We know what you're going through. We've been here too. And so that level of acceptance has been huge for me, and just being able to have that level of acceptance of people, being around people that get it, people that understand you and your vision journey. And that's
Do you
what
plan? Sorry, Allison.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do you plan on continuing on into the contraction series, or are you satisfied with the alphabet and punctuation and such?
I have not finished my symbols yet. I'm still trying to work on book 13, trying to get through it. I'm not sure, actually. I guess when I get through, it hasn't even been a year yet. I didn't start until around maybe just before Thanksgiving. So, but I'm hoping that I will get to the point where I can still use it. My purpose was for it to be functional everyday use Braille. And that has been working well for me. I use my white cane when I'm out. I read elevator when we go on vacation. I read the hotel signs in Braille. I try to find different ways to use my Braille and keep up with things. I know if I don't use it, I will lose it, and I'm afraid, because I've put in all this work and all this time to get to where I am now.
I understand. I feel like I'm in the same boat as you, and that I'm not sure if I want to go into contractions, because my plan for it is the same as you, functional everyday use.
Right.
But then part of me is like, maybe a Braille display would be nice, and then I could take notes and stuff, and contraction make that easier. But then again, I can just dictate or take notes on my laptop using JAWS. So I'm also unsure of if I'm going to continue into contractions or not.
Yeah.
I think also signs and things in public places use a lot of contracted Braille, because I've been with my daughter, who is fluent in Braille. She's been learning since she was 3.5, maybe even maybe as early as 3. And she can read the women's sign in the bathroom, and she'll tell me that's a contraction, because it'll say WOM.
Oh,
and I'll get to that point, and EN contraction. There's a contraction for that, and I'll be like, Kira, is this? I feel WOM, and she'll be like, yep, that's women. There's a contraction there. You're not going to understand what it says yet. And so she knows all of the contractions and everything, and is fluent in it. She reads chapter books. And she's in high school. She's actually a senior in high school, and she, when they do longer passages in her English language arts class, she either reads in Braille or she listens to the audio files that they put on Google Classroom for her.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was really interesting, because I recently had a conversation where, if you're in public, Braille is not supposed to be contracted, because a lot of other countries don't have the same contractions. So Braille is supposed to be just basic Braille, but it's not something I ever delved into. It was just it was a conversation we had in a room in the International Blind Cafe about public braille. So that is very interesting. I didn't realize that. See, I
In
rarely go to a washroom out in public on my own, so I don't
Me
read the
either.
braille on the toilet door.
And
Yeah,
I can attest to that, right?
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
camel. It's no liquids when you're going visiting anywhere.
And I've got no problem going into the men's washroom if the lineup at the women's washroom is really long. I'll go in the men's and say,
Go.
"Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought this was the ladies," as I'm washing my hands on the way out. Yeah.
You go. That's great.
even in when we were on vacation in April, we were at an air museum, and the book that they have for Braille for people to use, for kids to use, or for anybody really, it was all in contracted Braille. So it was raised
Interesting.
tactile outlines of the different
Yeah.
planes that they had. And when they were underneath the description, when they were describing what the planes were, it was all contracted Braille.
Yeah.
And I could only
It
read a
makes
little
sense.
bit of it. And I
It
said to
makes
Kiera,
sense.
I can't do
Sorry,
this.
Alison.
Oh, sorry.
No. I interrupted you. I apologize. It does make sense though, because it takes up less space, right?
It takes
I
up a lot.
found,
It would be
I
a
tried,
huge, thick volume.
yeah. Alison, we could
Talk
sit and
for
talk to you for hours. Thank you
right.
so much
Yeah.
for joining us on Blind Gems. I really hope you come back soon because, again, we've just scratched the surface, right, ladies?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'd love to
Yeah.
hear your day-to-day life with the kids and how you dealt with things. So you probably got some funny stories too, because kids when they're little are crazy. So it'd be fun to hear all those kind of things. And you're very inspiring how just loving your children and wanting to be that you gain so much for yourself with your advocacy and being proud of the little things, whether people don't understand it. A small thing that we can do independently means a lot to us. It's just
Right.
it's
It really
very
does.
precious. It's very
Yeah.
precious. Yeah, it is. All right,
Thank
before we
you
go,
for having me.
yeah.
This has been a great experience. I've never done anything like this before, so it's been a really good afternoon so far.
Well, I'm shocked that you've never done anything like this before, Alison,
Oh,
because you're a natural. It's been
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you for having me.
Before we
Steph,
leave,
I
yes,
hear you have. Sorry, go
I,
ahead, honey.
I have a gem. I have a gem.
Go on.
Okay, it's a food gem because I think we have a theme sometimes. All right, so 11 years ago, probably when I was first dating my husband, and we're all in our best behaviors when we're dating. So I'm going to make spaghetti. All right, I think I'm doing it good. Grab the sauce, put it in, make spaghetti. We're sitting down, and I start eating it, and I'm like, so Brendan, he goes, it's a little spicy. So is that how your family likes it? And I'm like, I don't know, really. So I start eating it. I'm like, okay, why are these like weird little bits and vegetables and whatever? So I go in the garbage to look. It was salsa that I made the spaghetti with that was
Oh,
spicy. It was so gross. And he kept eating and he's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, I already like you. This is disgusting. We're not eating
yeah.
salsa
Let's all the
spaghetti
pizza.
anymore. No. But I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It was just, I was just like, I grabbed it fast. I didn't have my pen front
Yeah.
then. I was like, oh my God, it was horrible. But yeah,
Did you
Oh
eat,
my
a
did
God.
you
little
eat it
spaghetti.
all, or did you order something else?
Oh, I don't, I think we probably ordered something, but I said, wow, I think that's when I really decided I found myself a good one because if you're going to eat the slop that I cook
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
right?
Say
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my jam. Don't make salsa spaghetti, ladies. It's not good.
You can find more from Blind Gems on YouTube, Spotify, and the internationalblindcafe.com website.